Good morning. Today we are doing our last objective in this unit, Po38. I can use similar polygons to find missing lengths, and we're going to see how that ties into our proportions that we've been working with. Okay, remember I said this is our last objective of this unit, so that means Wednesday is review day. Make your help sheet. Make sure you understand all those objectives. Thursday's the practice test, Friday is the real test. Okay. Keeping in mind that we have Khan Academy due on Thursday, they have to do with proportions. Do your Khan Academy, it's gonna help you study. Next week, Tuesday, packet number 6 is due, so make sure you're turning that in by Friday so you can correct your mistakes. So, similar polygons. A similar polygon are polygons with corresponding sides that are proportional. So even though the side lengths of similar polygons are proportional, the angles are equal. A triangle, for example, will always have 180 degrees no matter how big or how small. So basically, if our polygons are proportional, they are getting bigger and smaller in a proportionate size. So it's going to be the same shape, just different sizes. Right, so a rectangle is going to look the same, just be bigger or smaller. The angle measurements are the same. So consider the two figures below. When solving for unknown sides of polygons, here of similar polygons, here are two ways you can set up a proportion. Because sometimes we can look at the numbers and go, oh, I know how to do these proportions. I can figure it out in my head with mental math. I'm multiplying by 2, right? I'm dividing by 3. We can figure out those proportions. But a lot of times, the numbers aren't easy numbers for us to work with. So we need to know the method for how to solve for when those numbers are not the easy numbers, when we're having to deal with decimals. So let's look at these two. We have short sides and long sides of those rectangles. So we're going to be using that short and long for how to match things up, because the short for this matches up with the short here, the long for the A rectangle matches up with the long for the B rectangle. So the way we're going to set up our proportions, method 1 says the long A is over the long B, and that equals short A over short B. So we can see the long and the long are over each other. The A's line up with the A's, the B's line up with the B's. Longs and shorts always line up, A's and B's always line up. So you're gonna write out, long A over long B. And no, long A goes on top, so short A is gonna go on top. You have to match them up the same. Yes. Did you? Yeah. Did you know how to answer it? Not this time, but will you know how to answer it in the spring? Yeah. Too bad we didn't have this lesson last week. Man. But, like Elliot said, you'll see questions like this on the math test. So we need to know how to solve for that missing side. Method 2 says long A over long B. So remember, we're keeping things consistent. So if it's long A, it's going to be matched up with long B. Oh, sorry. Why did I say long over long? Sorry. I just gave you method one again. Long A over short A. We don't want to do the same method twice. So long A over short A. So long matches up with the long, short matches up with the short. This time we have the A's on the same side and the B's on the same side. Long's on top, short's on bottom. As long as you are consistent and they match up together. Okay. So notice, similar units are never diagonal. Long on top, long on bottom, short on top, short on bottom. A's on top, B's on bottom. Never diagonally. We won't see the B's diagonal. We won't see the shorts in the diagonal. So it's always on top of each other or across from each other to match them up. They match up either vertically or horizontally. Either way is correct. Right? So you could do long A over long B. You could do long B over long A. But if you have the A on top here, the A has to be on top here. If the B's on top, then the B is on top. You have to be consistent with the longs and the shorts matching up and the A's and the B's matching up. So how are we going to use that to actually solve for our unknowns? So I'm going to scroll up so we can actually plug numbers in for those words and see how we use that. So first thing you have to do is figure out what's your A and what's your B. Long matches up with the long, short matches up with the short. Right? Long, long, short, short. Make sure you're matching up the correct sides. Sometimes they'll have one of the polygons termed. You need to make sure that you're matching up the longs and the shorts with the correct sides. So, if I'm going to do short A matches with short B, so I would say 10 and 15. I have my shorts on top, my A's on the left, my B's on the right, right? So is that the only way I could set it up? No. I could say, let's do my shorts over the short. So I could do 10 over 15, long over the long, A's on top, B's on bottom. Okay, as long as you are being consistent. A's together, B's together, shorts together, longs together, that they match up. Who remembers how to solve for a proportion where we have one missing? Bo?
24 times 10.
Mm-hmm. The diagonal you multiply, and what do we do with the one on the outside? Divide. 10 times 24 divided by 15. So down here, where I set it up differently, look at my diagonal. Oh my goodness, it is the same. 10 times 24 divided by 15. As long as you keep it consistent with your A's and B's matching up, your longs and shorts matching up, you're going to have the same equation. What is 10 times 24 divided by 15? Laurel?
16.
Our missing side shape is 16. Could I have figured it out knowing how to go from 10 to 15, question mark to, maybe. Sometimes it's easy and we can go, oh, I don't have to do the math. I know the answer is this because I can do mental math with it. Sometimes we might use, okay, let's see. I have 5 times 2, 5 times 3. That would be 8 times 3, 8 times 2. I could use other math, my number sense to figure it out. It's not going to be wrong. You're going to come up with the same answer. But is this going to be the easiest way? Probably. Okay. Sometimes, like I said, mental math is easy and we can figure it out right away. Sometimes we just set up your proportions. Okay, solve for your missing one. Let's look at our next one. How could I set up these polygons? I've got lots of numbers here. How should I set it up? My first thing I have to do is label my A and my B. My second step, who knows what it's going to be? Any guess what I need to do? Yes, Elliot.
Do you find out the bottom of the other?
Ooh, good question. Elliot's saying, well, there's a 24 for the A, but there's nothing for the B. I don't have to find that missing space. All I'm going to be answering is where my question mark is. So if I have an empty space here, what do you think I'm going to do to that 24? There, that's extra information. I don't need it. Okay, so your first step is labeling your A and your B. Your second step is figuring out what sides you're going to use. What's your short, what's your long? I'm going to look at these and say, well, this is my short, this is my long. That's extra information. They might have given us a number down here, so then I can decide. I have to obviously use the sides that have the question mark. I have to figure out what side matches up with the question mark, because that's what I'm solving for. If they give you all numbers, you get to pick which sides you want to match it up with. So always use the side that has the question mark, and then use whichever side you want to that has two numbers on the A and the B, right? So this time, there wasn't a number to match up with the 24, so I had to cross it off. So I have to use the 12 and the 15. Okay. Sometimes you'll have choices, sometimes you won't. This one, we didn't have a choice. We have to use the question mark in the 25. We have to use the 12 and the 15, because you have to have two sides. Now, how should I set up my proportion? Joe?
12 over question mark
Okay.
equals 15 over 45.
Yeah. Because I have short A over long A, short B over long B.
Oh, you could also like what? Can I do 12 times 25 divided by 15?
Yeah. So I'm going to multiply the diagonal and divide out that extra one. What is 12 times 25 divided by 15? About 20. Now, when we have all these numbers on the paper, it is good practice to circle your answer, to write it in up here, to make it known that you know the answer here it is, right? If we have lots of numbers written all over, make it easy for your teacher to find your answer, okay? Don't make me hunt all over the page looking for the answer. Circle it, write it up by the question mark, make it known, here's my answer. All right. Is there another way that we could have solved this? Yes. What, Henry?
Well, I have kind of a weird way of doing it.
Yep.
What I did was, I thought about 12 to 15, and you can add 3 to 12 to make 15. And then I thought about how many times 3 went into 12, which is 4 times. So if I add another 3, then I could multiply it by 1.25 to get 20.
So like I said, there are other ways we can use our number sense to figure these out. It's not wrong. Is Henry going to be able to do his way for every single one, or is it going to get complicated?
It's going to get too hard.
It might get complicated depending on the numbers we're given. So we need to know the method in case it gets complicated, because you will run into some that you go, ooh, I can't figure out the pattern. What am I, it's getting hard. When it gets hard, we need to know how to set it up. So am I okay with you using a different method? As long as you come up with the right answer, it's okay. But we need to make sure we're coming up with the right answer. So it might be good practice to use a different method and then say, hey, I'm gonna check it by using this method to see if it works out. Okay? Does that make sense? So I'm okay if you use other methods as long as you get the correct answer and you understand how to use this method, because there will be ones that get complicated. Elliot,
The one I had in math was like really different.
do you remember what it was?
It was like a shape, and then it had another part of another shape inside it, and then each labeled with letters.
So was it the same shape just inside?
Yeah, but like smaller.
Yeah, like that?
Like, no, like on the side.
Like this?
No, so it was like inside, but only part, like it was using the outside of the other one.
After I get people started on this, I'm gonna call you over to show me on a piece of paper so I can see what you're saying. All right, so on our page, work page, remember when I said you might have numbers for all three sides? Do we need to figure out all three sides? No. You're gonna use the one with the question mark, figure out which side matches up with the question mark, then figure out two other sides to match up, and then use those sides to solve for the missing sides. Okay, so you can cross off numbers that you're not using so you don't get confused. First step is your A and B. Second step, what sides are you using? Which numbers are you using? Cross off what you're not. Sometimes our shapes might be turned. You need to figure out which sides match with which. What's your short? What's your long? So in your mind, you have to turn it to see what matches with what. Clara?
If you use any number, like besides like the matching number with the question mark, if you use any number on it, will you get the same answer?
That is a great question. Let's look at our triangles. What number matches with our question mark?
8. Wait, 10.
10. Okay, so here's my A, here's my B. These two triangles aren't turned or flipped. So the question mark matches up with my 10. Okay, 10 over question mark. Now Clara's question is, what if we do 8 over 4 versus 14 over 7? Will we get the same answer? Let's do a quick check. 10 times 4 is 40, divided by 8 gives me a 5. Here, 10 times 7 is 70, divided by 14 is that same 5. So if it's proportional, and they are similar polygons, it doesn't matter which side you use, you'll get the same answer. Okay? So you could decide, do I want to do 14 and 7, or do I want to do 8 and 4? Same answer. Make sense? All right, so you're going to do the rest of these, matching up your A's and B's and matching up those sides, solving for proportion. Here, it's a word problem. You're going to want to draw a picture to help you figure out what your shapes look like and figure out where those side measurements go and figure it out. Then we have 2 review questions on the bottom. Make sure you know how to do those review questions. If you forgot, flip back to previous objectives. We have a test this Friday. You need to remember how to do these math problems. Any questions on today's assignment? When you finish, remember it is quiet, calm work time. Working on those math, Khan Academy, math packet. If you are all finished with both of them, make sure your packet is turned in. You can work on other work, calm and quiet. It is not social time. Save that for lunch. Lunch is coming up. Okay? If you have questions, if you want to double check your answers, you can come check with me. Come ask me questions. If you're watching at home, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to like and subscribe.